Hi, my name is Pablo Zabaleta and I welcome you to this video where we will be covering an additional tool that goes to strengthen the project manager's toolbox. This tool is operations programming. So let's start with our outline. First of all, why should we worry about programming at all? Of course, we can act. Some people say, I don't need to program anything. I just do. Okay, that's a position. But usually, that doesn't help you to face correctly whatever happens. And reality has the nasty habit of imposing itself. So we need to be prepared. That's one thing. Second, we need a sense of direction. So we need to understand about programming. Second, we will be covering the definition of operations programming. Third, what are its tools? How do we manage budget cuts? And finally, we will cover some Microsoft project related concepts that helps us in the process of operation programming. So, let's start with why do we need to know where we're going? Lewis Carroll developed a fantastic vignette in its book Alice in Wonderland that goes more or less along these lines. Alice meets the Cheshire Cat and she asks him, "Where should I go?" And the cat answers, "Well, that depends on where you want to go." "I don't know where I'm going," said Alice. "Well, it doesn't matter then which path you choose." So, why do we need to plan? First of all, we need to plan because we need to know where we are standing right now. We need to know what our starting point is. Also, we need to have a common thread so that everybody in the team can jump on board. Besides that, a good planning exercise helps us to reduce errors in our actions, and that automatically increases our efficiency. So, these four aspects are the reasons why we need to plan. But let me state very clearly, project managers know that more than just preparing the organization for the future, the planning process helps them at creating that future. We don't just accept the future as it comes and we comply with it. We create our vision of the future. So what's the definition of operations programming? It's how do we translate strategy into actions, specifically into results to be delivered, expected times, when do we need to deliver them, what resources we need, and who is responsible for each result. Operations programming, in truth, answers the old questions that the Latins already had coined as Quis, Quid, Quo Modo, Quando. Who, what, how, and when. What needs to be done? When should it be done? With what are we going to do it? And who is responsible for doing it? So, the objectives of the operations programming process is to be able to program very clearly what we're going to achieve, how, when, and who is responsible. The methodology follows a closed loop that is similar to other systems that we have seen previously. We start with the strategic guidelines, then we develop the work breakdown structure. We, of course, define very clearly the indicators, because what we cannot measure, we would not be able to control. Remember always that. What is not measured is not controlled. We develop the complete specifications for the result. Remember that quality is compliant with the specifications. Then we develop the work plans, we put everything in order, finally we act. And then we measure what impact we've had, what results we have achieved, and then we just close the loop. How do we do all this? Well, we have certain tools at our disposal. The first one is the results tree, where we where we developed actually the work breakdown structure. Then we have the data sheet, and finally we have the work plans. So let's start with the results tree. How do we develop them? Well, in the public sector, in the Bolivian public sector, we start with the objectives expressed in the mission, certain definitions by certain senior management, by the participation of people who are doing things. But not only in the public sector. As you can see, this can be very clearly applied anywhere. Our lesson will continue in the next video.